Hello zusammen, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all having a good day so far. If this is your first time clicking on my videos, welcome. Thanks so much for clicking. My name is Diana and I make videos all about my life as an expat from Toronto, Canada, now living in Berlin, Germany for almost 3 years. So I talk about the German culture, lifestyle, my thoughts on it, my experiences. So if you are interested in that, definitely make sure to stick around because I post new videos every single week. But for today, we're gonna be talking about the doctors here. And I don't know why I did this, but going to the doctors, it's something that we all have to do. And I know it can be a little worrisome or a bit confusing, especially if you move to a new country and you're in a new environment. Cue in ambulance, good timing. Okay. So I'm gonna talk to you about my experiences, what it's been like going to the doctors in Germany. Again, I live in Berlin, so it is more specific to Berlin, but hopefully you guys do find this helpful. And if you are interested in learning about the healthcare system here and the different types of health insurances that are available, make sure to check out the previous video that I did all about this. I will go ahead and link it down below, and I talk about the type of insurance that I am with and all of that stuff. So all of that will be listed in the link down here. So make sure to check that out. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm sure a lot of you are wondering if it's easy to find doctors here, maybe easy to find doctors that speak English. And to be honest, I haven't had that big of a problem finding doctors here that do speak English. The only thing I would have to say is that there are a lot of doctors, but there are a lot of patients as well. So places tend to fill up quite quickly. You cannot find appointments readily available for the next day or even the next week sometimes, which can be a bit frustrating, especially for the doctors that practice both in English and in German, of course. They are typically in very high demand, so do keep that in mind. But there are a lot of doctor's offices that do take walk-in appointments or walk-ins. So that is quite helpful as well. Just expect that if you are going to a walk-in appointment that you'll probably have to wait a couple of hours. I would highly recommend getting to the doctors like 15 minutes or 20 minutes before they even open, because if it's a walk-in appointment, then there will usually be a lineup outside the door even as early as 20 minutes before the office is open. So if you don't want to wait super long, definitely show up early. So yeah, that would be the first thing, but I wouldn't worry about being able to find a doctor who speaks English, specifically if you are living in the bigger cities. Now, another thing that you'll notice actually about doctors' offices here. Now, speaking about the doctor's offices, it is quite interesting because all of the doctor's offices, at least that I've been to, are usually in residential buildings where people actually live. And the offices will typically be on the ground level, and it will just look like a house, essentially, a pretty massive house that was turned into an office. I had a doctor's appointment recently and I took my mom with me, and she was like totally confused about the concept because it seemed like we were walking into a building where people actually live, but the doctor's offices were there. And this is definitely not the case in North America. Usually doctor's offices are found in commercial buildings, whether that be like a plaza or a strip mall, or of course like a hospital. So yeah, definitely not the case here. Don't get confused if you are going to an appointment and it looks like you're about to walk into someone's home. Now, when it comes to the actual appointment, I find that the doctors here are definitely very helpful, but they're still very efficient. So yes, they are trying to get to see as many patients as quickly as possible, but I've never gotten the feeling that I am being rushed through my appointment. I've always felt like the doctors here are willing to listen to me and trying to find a solution for whatever issue I am having. which is really nice and definitely very comforting, especially if you are in a new country. So that's been always pretty good. And I've gone to, I think, 3 or 4 different doctors since I've lived here, and I've had similar experiences across all of my appointments, which have been really good. Another thing that I notice is that doctors here are not that willing to give prescriptions to you right away. This is totally different than back in North America. I felt like anytime I went to the doctors back home, I would always walk out with a prescription for something, and that is definitely not the case here. I remember when I went to my first doctor's appointment here, I think I had a sore throat, I had a flu or something, and the doctor just told me, oh, have some ginger and honey and do some salt gargles, and that was pretty much it. They didn't offer me anything else, and I was like, okay, but should I get some medication? Like, can you give me anything? And they were like, no, you don't need that. And that totally shocked me because, again, I've been so used to always walking out of the appointment with a script for some sort of medication. So it is definitely a different approach, and you don't get the sense that the doctors here are just trying to, make some extra money by writing prescriptions like you do sometimes in North America. Which is definitely very comforting, and I appreciate that, because if there's a natural remedy that you can do, then why not? That is 10 times better in my opinion. Another thing that's also different, and this shocked me, was that as the appointment was wrapping up, the doctor would ask if you need a note to show your employer or a note to be able to stay home from work. And they will ask this for pretty much anything. So if you have, again, a sore throat, anything it might be, they'll ask you if you want one, and you can just get it and, of course, submit it to your employer so that you can stay home and rest. And this is not the case in Canada, at least. In Canada, you have to pay for doctor's notes. So it's around $20 or $25 for a doctor's note. So the doctor would never offer it to you unless you ask for it. So here it's quite different, and that definitely shocked me at first. I was not used to it. So don't be surprised if you get a similar question asked to you. The last thing that I wanted to mention is that they are very efficient in the sense that if you need further examination, let's say you need some blood work to be done, or any other sort of examination, they can typically do it within the same day, provided that they have the machine or the equipment available, which is really nice. I remember I needed some blood work done, and I was expecting to have to come back later on in the week or the next day, and they were able to do it right away, which is awesome, and it definitely is very convenient. I also noticed that a lot of offices have machines like ultrasound machines or other sort of medical devices. I had to go to the doctors when I first moved here because I was having really bad breathing problems, because I think I wasn't used to the pollen here, and I told the doctor this, and they were able to do a breathing test on me right away. So that was super convenient. I was again expecting to have to go back for an appointment later on or have to go to a different office. So I was pleasantly surprised that I could get everything done within the same appointment, which is good. Now, when it comes to dentists, to be honest, I haven't had very good experiences so far, at least in Berlin. The one dentist I went to, he was like not very helpful and didn't want to, do x-rays that I requested or do like further cleaning that I wanted. So that wasn't a good experience. Also, my boyfriend has gone to another dentist here and they were not that helpful. So maybe the dentists in Berlin are just not that great, or I haven't found a good one. But I did hear a horrible story from somebody that I met at a waiting room at a doctor's office, and she was telling me about her dentist experience here. And she said she went to a dentist that was recommended by her neighbor, and she, went to the office, she sat on the chair, and she lied down, opened her mouth, and then she noticed that the dentist, without using any gloves, without cleaning her hands, just stuck her hand into her mouth, the patient's mouth, without any gloves at all. And it was like the most disgusting thing ever. She also didn't seem to like have cleaned her equipment, and there was no sink nearby for her to like spit into. She had to go to a sink outside near the waiting room where everyone could see her. So it was just like a really horrible, disgusting experience. So I'm kind of weary about dentists here, to be honest, but I don't know if you guys have any recommendations of dentists in Berlin that you like. Let me know down below, because so far the experiences I've had, the stories I've heard have not been good at all. But yeah, that is pretty much it for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Again, if you want to learn about the type of health insurance that I use and the different types of health insurances available in Germany, make sure to check the links down below. And if you're interested in seeing more of my day-to-day life in Berlin, also make sure to check out my Instagram. I do post there pretty much daily, and you can see what I get up to every single day. So yeah, links will be down below. Again, thank you so much. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I will talk to you all next week. Cheers!